My 25 male girlfriend's 25 sex drive has completely disappeared. Pretty much the title. I'm very concerned about her at this point, and I have no idea what to do. Back in April-ish, we were having sex 2 or 3 times a day. We live in an apartment together. She's been taking online classes for her master's, and I'm working from home since the lockdown started. At some point, she got really busy and tired with the project, so we obviously stopped having sex temporarily. Since it's gotten over, though, which was nearly 4 months ago at this point, she's turned me down every time I've tried to initiate or set the mood for sex. I have never pressured her. I usually wait a couple of nights before asking again when she tells me she's not in the mood, which turned into waiting a week, which turned into waiting 2 weeks. At this point, I'm really concerned. We've never gone anywhere near 4 months without sex before. We've both always had pretty high sex drives. At this point, it's important to note that I do not press the matter or pester or pressure her in any way. The moment she says she's not in the mood, I back off immediately. I don't think I've freaked up anywhere because she's always quite apologetic when she turns me down. Our relationship is pretty much perfect in every other way, too. We cuddle and hug and have game nights and movie nights. It's never felt like we're drifting apart at any point. She hasn't been behaving differently, like she's upset or depressed. We give each other plenty of space, too. It's not like we're constantly together. We have our own friend circles and we curl up on our own devices from time to time. I've tried talking to her about it, but she gets really upset and keeps insisting that nothing is wrong. I drop the matter pretty quickly, too, because I don't want her to feel like I'm pressuring her to have sex. I just want her to let me in and tell me what's wrong. I honestly don't care about the sex, but I know there's something she's not telling me, and it's gone on long enough that I'm getting extremely worried about her. Commenter 1, if I was in your place, I too wouldn't pressure her for sex, but I dang well would pressure her for an explanation. From 2 to 3 times a day to not at all for 4 months? I would need answers, even if she was upset at having the conversation. It's okay to want or not want things in a relationship, but not communicating is not okay. OP. Thanks for the response. I don't want her to feel pressured or accused of anything, but I do want an explanation. Do you have any advice on how I can be sort of firm, but also make her feel comfortable at the same time? Commenter 2, it's been a very stressful year for everyone. She's probably just feeling the pressure. I wouldn't worry that much. If it really bothers you, try doing small, intimate things, head massage, cuddle, etc. OP, we've been cuddling and I've been giving her shoulder massages on a fairly regular basis and she seems very content and happy. Everything seems completely normal except this. I want her to at least talk about this. Could the girlfriend be dealing with a prior traumatic experience? OP, I keep worrying about a traumatic experience too, but what? We almost never leave home because of the pandemic. One of us goes occasionally to get groceries, but that's about it. I'm honestly at a loss, and she's not talking to me about it. Is the girlfriend taking any medication that might be affecting her moods? OP. No, she isn't taking any medication. Update 1. Thanks to everyone who replied to my previous post. There were some mixed responses, with some people suggesting I insist on addressing it with her because she's hiding something, with others recommending I give her time to open up on her own. Ultimately, I decided to sort of go for a combo of the two. Friday, when we were both done with work, we sat down and had a discussion. I told her that I could give her the space and time she needed till she was ready to talk to me about it, but I couldn't leave it unaddressed. She needed to acknowledge that there at least was something that she didn't feel ready to tell me, and that was fine, but she at least needed to acknowledge its existence, if only so I stopped feeling like I was going crazy. She started sobbing when I was done, and then she started explaining everything. Some background that I didn't mention in my previous post because it didn't really seem relevant is that my girlfriend has PCOD. One of the consequences of this is that she finds it very difficult to lose weight and has been insecure about her body for most of her life. About a year ago, completely of her own choice, I have always told her that she's beautiful to me no matter what her weight. She resolved to start losing weight, both for her health and to feel better about her body. She started going to the gym a couple times a week, and I was supportive and also cut out all my own junk food consumption in solidarity. Since the lockdown started and gyms shut, apparently she started slowly gaining some weight back due to stress eating and lack of exercise. I'm ashamed to say I didn't even notice that she was torturing herself over her weight all this while. She admitted that she stopped having sex because she was terrified I would stop finding her attractive after seeing her naked. I reassured her that I think she's gorgeous and attractive no matter what, and I tell her this every day, but she was afraid that would have changed once I saw the weight she had put on. The rest of the conversation consisted of me reassuring her that she's beautiful and her appreciating but not really believing me. After a bit, she asked me to change the topic and I reluctantly agreed. We had a fairly quiet dinner. She was a little sad and relieved at the same time at having told me, I think, and I was busy scheming. The next morning before work, I told her she looked lovely again and she gave me a wan smile, like she appreciated it but didn't really believe me. But that was okay. I was going to convince her. I asked her to pick up the groceries that evening because I was going to have a meeting run late. The moment she left home, I got to work. I dug out some fairy lights and a bunch of candles from storage and started setting them up in the living room, made a couple of playlists and charged the speaker, snuck down to the florist and bought a giant bouquet. Some more background: I hate dancing because I suck massively at it, while my girlfriend loves it. She used to go dancing every month or two with her girlfriends before lockdown. I'd join in sometimes because it was worth how happy it made her, but she definitely missed it way more than me. So when she got back, naturally, I greeted her with what were probably the most ridiculous dance moves in the history of mankind. I'm not going to lie, folks, she laughed. She laughed a lot. She took a short video and we both laughed while watching it later. My movement resembled a 5-year-old practicing kung fu more than it resembled dancing, and I had stuck a rose in my ear for maximum ridiculousness. Totally worth it, though. I have no idea how she ever thought she's ugly. Her smile is just so freaking radiant. We danced like idiots for a while before I switched to the slow dance playlist. It was definitely the happiest I'd seen her in a long time. I'd been a bad boyfriend and somehow missed how much she missed everything else. I should have done it months ago. I told her all this, told her she's the most beautiful woman in my eyes and always will be. And yeah, we had sex. Last night was all about her. She needed to feel special, and I have been missing that for too long. I offered to make dance nights a weekly thing afterwards, kind of as a substitute for the workouts she's been missing if she wants. She tore up a little. She knows how much I hate dancing. She told me that wasn't necessary. Apparently, sex is just as much of a workout as dancing, and we have a lot of missed workouts to catch up on. I'm certainly not complaining. In all seriousness, though, I'm going to dip into my savings a little and order a home treadmill. She can't afford one right now because of college bills, so I'll surprise her with it. Thank you to everyone who helped me out with their advice. Edit it. Oh, wow. I am completely overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support here. Thanks for all the awards. I just logged back into this account, but I promise I'm going to read each of the replies. One thing I saw pop up a couple of times that I just want to reassure you guys about is that she's mentioned wanting a treadmill but not being able to afford one several times in the past. So I know she wants one. However, I figured that it's dumb to take the chance, and one surprise was good enough. And if there's anything this whole experience has taught me, it's the importance of communication. So I'm going to bring it up at dinner tonight that I comfortably have enough saved up to purchase a home workout machine. Since I saw cycles/ellipticals being mentioned, we'll figure out which one we want, and that I'd love to buy one for our home for both of us to use. Thank you all so much once again for your advice. Edit 2, RIP me, LOL. The comments are coming faster than I can read them now. There's no way for me to reply to every one of them, unfortunately. There are a lot of fantastic suggestions for diets, exercise machines, dance classes, and everything in between, so thank you so much for all of them. She has a great endocrinologist whose advice she will ultimately be following, but there are some great points to bring up with him. It is really touching and overwhelming to see all this support. Thank you all so much. Final edit. She loved the idea of getting some equipment to do our workouts at home together, so we're going to sit down and do our research tonight before picking the one we like most. We've gotten some fantastic advice here, and we'll be looking at ellipticals, bikes, rowing machines, Just Dance on the Switch, and a bunch of other stuff that you guys suggested. To all the people who commented to insist she's cheating on me because I'm a simp, MAO, thank you for setting the exemplary standard for being macho. Insulting strangers online is so delightfully masculine. The lovely folks who told me to dump her because she's fat get the disappointing but not unexpected crap heads shout out as well. For the overwhelming majority of people, though, I am just breathtaken by the kind and supportive comments we've gotten. Thank you for the treasure trove of advice and LPTs and all the love. You folks are amazing. Commenter 1, dance lessons, a great thing to do as a couple. OP, shh, don't give her ideas. But in all seriousness, probably after the pandemic, it is long overdue for me to fix my woeful dance abilities. Aha, OP clarifies the difference between PCOS and PCOD-OP. Hey, PCOS and PCOD differ just slightly and can often be mistaken for each other since they have very similar symptoms. PCOS is caused by a disorder in the endocrine system, which controls the hormonal balance of the body, whereas PCOD is due to a hormonal imbalance rather than a system issue. I'm very sorry to hear you have it. I wish you the best of luck dealing with it. OP should make sure his girlfriend is okay with getting a treadmill, or it could be a major setback for her because she hasn't asked for anything yet to help with her weight. OP, you make a great point, and even though she's explicitly mentioned wanting one before, this was the comment that convinced me to bring it up with her rather than try to surprise her again. OP noted, I'm going to frame it as buying one for our home for the both of us to use, so she doesn't feel targeted or guilty about me spending money. Thank you so much for the advice. OP was advised to bring up a possible PCOS/PCOD related issue to his girlfriend's doctor. She might have issues with low progesterone levels, which could be the root cause of OP. Oh, wow. Thanks for the heads up. I will definitely bring this up with her and will book a consultation ASAP. She has a regular endocrinologist already who's been very good up to this point. Update 4 years later. Hi, everyone. I spotted an end-of-year email from Reddit for this account, which reminded me of the existence of this throwaway, and I decided to do a quick Christmas Eve update on my profile page in case anyone was still interested, because a lot has happened in 4 years. We're both doing well. We got engaged about 3 years ago and adopted a cat, but it went a bit downhill from there because of a bunch of different health issues that hit her consecutively. She's largely recovered from the temporary ones, and the permanent ones are a lot more under control now thanks to regular health checkups and medication. But it was a rocky couple of years, not for our relationship, just for us in general. All the medical issues also meant she hasn't worked since, which isn't an issue financially, but for other reasons, which I'll come to in a moment. She's doing a lot better mentally now as well, at least relative to last year. She still struggles with self-esteem and feels like a burden to her loved ones, especially me, especially because of the aforementioned lack of work over the last few years. She's a lot more communicative about these things now, though, instead of bottling them up, so she's not let our relationship suffer for this. And I like to think that even if her self-esteem hasn't gone up, her way of coping with it is a lot healthier now, and that's an important step in the right direction. She's even been looking to get back to work over the last month or so, despite the challenges of low self-esteem, severe imposter syndrome, and having to explain a years-long absence, and I'm really proud of her for not just giving up after the hand she's been dealt health-wise. I'm doing really well. I switched jobs and fields about a year back, and I'm making a lot more money now, and I'm enjoying my work a lot more too. I actually started therapy recently as well because there were some personal discipline issues I wanted to fix, and I ended up discovering a whole host of other issues I had repressed, and bringing them back out into the open and dealing with them has been simultaneously terrifying and liberating. But it's also made me a much better friend and partner, so looks like I'm going to have to keep braving them for as long as it takes. As for the biggest one, which is probably obvious from the title, we got married 2 months ago. We would have done it a lot earlier if she hadn't had a bunch of health issues pop up unexpectedly, but with her on the mend, we were finally able to plan and organize the thing so everyone we wanted to be there could be there. I honestly sometimes still find it surreal, like, what's if I'm a husband? It still feels like I'm dreaming sometimes, and I'm still that clueless, wide-eyed college kid, but I look at the woman sleeping next to me, and I remember all the ways I've changed for the better, all the ways I've grown up because of her influence, and I feel really lucky to have her. And I know that I and she still have a lot more growing up to do, but I'm feeling this overwhelming contentment within because we get to do all that growing up together. I don't know if I'll update this again. Maybe if I get reminded of this account sometime in the future and something major has happened since. Until then, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone, and I hope the new year is your best year yet.